Hello and welcome to my presentation on the history of computers. I put this together using ChatGPT, which is something I had never used before this project. So the first examples of computers look nothing like what we recognize them as today. This picture on the right is of Hollerith tabulating machine. This computer was using paper cards with punch outs in order to do computations. The Z3 was a computer that was more of an experimental thing more than anything else, that was in Germany. It was actually bombed, and that was the death of the Z3, though this person, Konrad Zuse, is very influential in computing and came up with a lot of the things that would continue, such as programming computers. The first true electronic computers, you have the ENIAC and the UNIVAC. The picture on the left here is not of one of these two. It's actually probably a little bit later, though it utilizes some of the same things that these two used, like the vacuum tubes. One of the biggest changes and the biggest advancements for computers was the microprocessor. Intel invented this little guy in the early 70s, and that thing right there would evolve and evolve and evolve to be able to handle what we use today. The Altair 8800 might be considered the first personal computer, and it used this type of technology, the microprocessor, in order to create a computer that was a lot smaller and more user-friendly than the last examples that we looked at with the vacuum tubes that might take up the whole room. So, in the late 70s and early 80s, the personal computer starts to take hold. The average household might actually buy one. Apple created this guy, the Apple II. Looking at it down there, you see some of the components that my laptop that I'm shooting on right now still has. You have the keyboard, you have a small printer where you put in floppy disk, and the monitor. IBM, obviously a very big name in computing, kept going with the personal computer as well, and kept making improvements in like we were saying about the Apple, really started to lock into what a personal computer would look like moving forward. And then this leads us to kind of the modern day, where we are today. In the early 90s, the World Wide Web transformed everything, allowed people to really use computers in a different kind of way, and allows them to access information. The Windows 95 is important because it really started to change how we interact with the computer, mostly with things like the cursor that I'm moving around right now, or text and fonts. Then now we have computers in our pocket that I'm shooting this video on right now, and that can listen to my voice as well. We know the iPhone and Android and all the other players in that game, but then cloud computing allowed us to be able to store so much more information and access so much more information, because now you can essentially share space between different things. And moving beyond, I could have put in a little thing on a quantum computer, which might be the next step. Thank you for watching my presentation.